think about the violence that happened in Washington with the Gaddafi Muslims?
What do I think? Well, I think that what they done, they felt they were right. But now I also know that the Honorable Wallace D. Muhammad, he teaches us to fight with no one unless you're aggressed upon, unless you're attacked. That's a natural law in nature. So whatever they did, I feel that they feel justified in doing it. I guess they feel justified in doing it, but like it's not the teachings of the Honorable Wallace D. Muhammad. He don't teach violence. People have had an image of the Muslims as being a violent sect. When the word Muslim means peacemaker. You know, it means peace.
The dress code, I first didn't know how to accept that, but once I seen the beauty in wearing long clothes, being different from other women that were just wearing the regular style long short dresses and so forth, I realized how beautiful it was to be covered up, because it wasn't external beauty that was being taught to us, but it was an internal beauty.
A lot of people I know, they don't even like to come to the masjid because of the checking procedure. But see, it's not the Gestapo type thing that we're trying to portray. It's securing them, giving them safety, and ensuring them safety while they're coming to hear the truth at the mosque.
Under the Honorable Master Elijah Muhammad, everyone was intending, he gave us a teaching about a mothership. And this mothership was something that was designed to come, and it was going to save everybody, much like the Christians had the swing low, sweet chariot. Okay, so our relationship with America was one that was intended to be brief. Okay, because this was all going to be destroyed physically, as our limited understanding allowed us. Though Elijah Muhammad didn't teach it in that manner, many of us, being in that type of mind, accepted it like that. So our relationship to America and the government was one that meant, well, this is soon to be destroyed and we're going somewhere else. Wallace D. Muhammad comes in and says, he explains the icon of the mothership, he explains about the burning of the American environment or the American mind. He translated it into its spiritual, it gave its interpretation of the symbology. So now Wallace D. Muhammad is letting us know, you have to live in this world.
Everything changes. Anything don't change, it's either dead or dying.
Good evening. I'm Johnny Barnes Selvin. This is the Muslim Mosque in Oakland. It serves about 1,000 followers of Allah. Till now, its doors have been closed to the public and to the media. In this half hour, we'll take an unprecedented look behind the closed doors and into the lives of Bay Area Muslims. Muslims in the Bay Area worship together on Fridays and Sundays. We attended the Friday congregational prayer, called Jummah prayer, at 1 o'clock on Friday afternoon with at least 500 Bay Area Muslims. Everyone, male or female, who enters the mosque is frisked, or as they call it, checked at the entry, though we were not allowed to film the women's checking procedure. And no one is allowed to wear shoes in the masjid or mosque. Worshippers of Allah enter quietly. According to Islamic tradition, they are segregated by sex. Men and boys come in a door at the front of the mosque and sit on the floor before the imam, their minister. Women and girls enter at the back and sit on the floor in rows behind the men. A call to prayer sung by FAKEEM SHUAIBE starts the service.
Allah.
Then the Imam lectures for about an hour on the ways of the world of Islam. The founder of the black Muslim movement, Elijah Muhammad, died in 1975. He played a godlike role, ruling over America's Muslims with absolute authority. They now call his rule the First Resurrection. Rule passed to Elijah Muhammad's son, Wallace D. Muhammad. The Second Resurrection began with his takeover, and it promises to be a time of great change. Bay Area Muslims no longer list their race as black, for instance. They have taken the name of Bilal, a black slave who, 1,400 years ago, became their Prophet Muhammad's first minister. Becoming Bilalians is one change. I discussed others with the new Bay Area Imam, who is formerly from Pakistan, Imam Muhammad Abdullah.
When the Honorable Wallace D. Muhammad took over, he felt that this nation of Islam that was only confined to America should be introduced to the vast brotherhood of Islam. He made them to pray as the other Muslims pray, fast during the same month as the other Muslims fast. Before that, they had to fast during the month of December, because December was the shortest month. But now they follow the same system as other Muslims follow, and to be the member of the universal Islam.
Each service ends with prayer, Allah Akbar, God is the greatest, and prostration facing the east, a show of deep humility before Allah.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
In order to support the mosque, the sacrifice pail is passed, of course. Then it's time to go out into the courtyard, where you can buy a copy of the Muslim holy book, the Quran, just enjoy a piece of bean pie, a culinary favorite, or talk with the Imam, Muhammad Abdullah, who has more to say about America's Muslims. Where are you from originally?
Originally, I may say from India, but when I went back, it was Pakistan.
Imam Abdullah, how long have you been here?
In the United States, I came since 1960. It means 16 years or 17 years.
When did you come to Oakland?
Just 6 months ago.
And how long have you been leading the Muslims in the Bay Area?
I may say same period of time. But I was officially Imam for the last 3 months.
What has happened to the white man is the devil philosophy?
That is, you see, that was during the time of Honorable Master Elijah Muhammad. In fact, he wanted to create do away the inferiority complex that was in his race. So he wanted to make them feel that they are no longer inferior. And the white man is devil, not you, the devil.
How do Far Eastern Muslims feel about American Muslims?
They think that Islam is progressing through the members of the world community of Islam in the West, and they are very happy, and they give publicity in their newspapers.
Has this always been the case?
Yes.
I mean, the Far Eastern Muslims have always liked and respected the American Muslim?
Whatever little progress they make, and they know that they are approaching towards Islam, they will feel very happy. Mr. Elijah Muhammad claimed that he was messenger of Allah, and he also said that one person by the name of Master Fard Muhammad came to America to teach Islam, and he considered him as Allah, or God, coming in the person of Fard Muhammad. So that was the differences. That is, the Muslims don't accept anyone after Prophet Muhammad as messenger of Allah, and the Muslims don't think that man can be God.
What is a Muslim's day like? How does a Muslim spend the day?
A Muslim is supposed to get up early in the morning and, if necessary, to take bath, or he has to make ablution. Ablution means washing of hand and teeth and face and up to elbow and the feet, and touching with wet hand of the certain part of the head and the neck, and cleaning the ears. So this is called just a minor bath. And after that, he is supposed to make prayer. The prayer is not very long. And if there's a mosque, he is supposed to go to the mosque. Otherwise, he can pray at home. And then after that, he had to get ready for the job he has to do, for the breakfast, and get ready for the job, where he is employed to go and work there and come back home in the afternoon or late evening, whatever it is.
And how many times a day does he pray?
A Muslim is supposed to pray 5 times a day. The Honorable Master Elijah Muhammad introduced few simple things. He didn't like to overburden his community. He just wanted them to be clean and to improve themselves economically, educationally, and for that purpose he introduced schools, and he introduced the Muhammad Speak newspaper. And he was not against 5 prayers or other principles of Islam. Once he told me that I want my followers to pray 5 times a day, I want my followers to pay the zakat, I want my followers to fast during the month of Ramadan, I want my followers to go to Mecca for pilgrimage. He smiled, he said, you know, my followers are not in the good shape, and they went to jail many times, and I am just trying to clean them up.
FAKEEM and Yolanda SHUAIBE are devoted Muslims. FAKEEM is Muazzin, the man who calls everyone to prayer, as well as treasurer at the mosque. And Yolanda is an avid supporter of mosque activities. The SHUAIBEs have 2 children, 4-year-old Camilla and 6-month-old FAKEEM Jr.
We've been Muslims for about 5 years, since January of 1972. On hearing the minister talk about and saying that the white man is the devil, naturally, all we heard or saw was physical images. Under Elijah Muhammad, we came and we went to the first book of the Bible, and we said that in the beginning, darkness covered the earth. Okay, so since it was that darkness covered the earth, that meant that darkness was before light, night was before day, black was before white. This is the rationale, baby, simple rationale, but the mentality of the people was such that, why couldn't you accept? You accepted everything else. We have been taught in so many ways and through so many powerful forms of media that our blackness represented inferiority. Okay, so you had the angel food cake was white and the devil's food cake was black. Okay, you had the black cat, you had Black Monday, the creature from the Black Lagoon. Everything black was bad. Okay, you had Step and Fetch and all these other things. To come in contact with something that totally contradicts that 379 years of black inferiority teaching, you got to latch hold to it if you have any thought of personal survival, or if you have any ego left. A person becomes a Muslim essentially from the declaration of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, by saying that there's nothing worthy of worship but God, and that Muhammad is his last messenger or last prophet. Under Elijah Muhammad, our understanding was that you can't serve God and the devil. Okay, and so since he was the devil, we couldn't go in his army, because if we was in his army, we would be opposing what we were standing for. So we didn't, we wouldn't join military service. We wouldn't do anything like that. And it's not strongly advocated in the world community of Islam today, but it is an understood factor that we are American citizens. And being American citizens, you are obligated as an American citizen, and America is also obligated to you as a citizen. So whereas we vote and register to vote under Wallace D. Muhammad today, that was not one of our concerns, because the whole political system was hopeless in our concern then. But Wallace D. Muhammad, he has faith in Jimmy Carter. He says, Jimmy Carter, thus far, is a good president. He's made some good decisions, and many of the people in government today are showing a new type of mind. So it's our job today to support government, to support the communities, to support those things that are designed to maintain America.
My first thought was that, oh no, I'm going to be a Muslim, because I knew that I wanted to be with him. So my first thought was, oh no, here I'm going to be a Muslim. And I was thinking about more or less what I had seen and how a Muslim woman is, rather than for me to investigate it for myself. I just more or less saw the women on the streets. And I was a little bit afraid of them when I seen them, because of the way, how different they were from other people. Well, upon me going to the mosque, I realized then that what they were teaching, what the roles for the woman was just really my own identity.
FAKEEM and Yolanda had more to say later at their Oakland apartment. How do you plan to educate your children?
The way we plan on educating her is having her to go to Claire Muhammad School, which is located at the Masjid on 47th Avenue in Oakland, where she will probably get her basic education, her reading, writing, and if she is at the age where I feel that she can deal and cope with the public schools, I will then put her in a public school when she is maybe 8 or 9 or something of that age. And then if not, she'll stay at Claire Muhammad School. It is a good school for the children that are in their elementary years. And I think that that's the most important years of her life.
Moral education in public schools is rather restricted. As a matter of fact, you find teachers that have different and distinct and varied moral values, and it is the concept of the values of the teacher that impress or that had the greatest impression on the child. So our foundation, in our Islamic foundation of Islamic education, is founded on Quran. The obligation of the Muslim man to the Muslim woman is, number one, when you look at it physically and biologically, is to maintain. Muslim families are not just heavenly, everything is always sweet. She gets frustrated sometimes, I get frustrated sometimes. The children, they get active sometimes, also like myself. So it's my job to offer information where she needs information. She needs information about, she say like she hears something on the news. She hears something on the news, don't quite understand. What about this Israeli-Arab conflict? What about Idi Amin? What about this? And I can inform her on that. As far as the emotional relationship is like I come home, I bring flowers, I bring perfume, I bring little things home, because when she spends much time here, living in as active a world as we live in, and with all the ideas about women's liberation, and then you got the edge of night and the storm, what's that, secret storm, all these other pictures going on, then they have a certain influence. Okay, so it's the man's job to keep her emotionally comfortable in this highly emotional environment, you see, and to reassure her and various things, and to provide the kind of leadership that a woman naturally looks for.
And learning that the man was to be the maintainer and the provider, and that I was to be submissive to him and humble to him. I've always been that way with my husband, and it was never something that I had to learn to do, but it was more or less it gave me a basics to where to go from there, and it helped me to be a better wife to him after becoming a Muslim and marrying him, because I realized that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring peace to him, and when I brought peace to him, I brought peace to myself.
What do you think of the women's lib movement, I have to ask you?
Well, I agree. I agree with the women's lib in respect to making sure in that all women should know their places, and if they feel as though that they can offer to society their intelligence, their ability to do whatever they feel is right for them, then I can respect that. I think that women's lib becomes more or less too overbearing when they try to take and do things of a man. I mean, just a manual type man's work, when it becomes so much out of their nature that it distorts them as a woman.
What's the difference between the leadership of Elijah Muhammad and Wallace D. Muhammad?
The reason that we have not made any more progress, Wallace D. Muhammad, than we have, is because we don't have contact with people in the community that are of import. So he's moving us in that direction. His direction is to move us into not necessarily overthrowing what stands, but just renewing it and make it better, because the basic principles of what it stands for is good. As he says, we accept the American Constitution as it is written, as it stands. But if they change the American Constitution, then we have to reconsider our acceptance of that new American Constitution. We owe allegiance to the American government. We owe allegiance to the people who have provided for us the time that we've been here. We can join the services. We can fight for this country.
Your Black Muslim bakery opened its doors in Oakland in the summer of 1969. The Muslims had tried to make Santa Barbara their California headquarters, but found that the market for health foods just wasn't big enough there. Elijah Muhammad gave your Black Muslim bakery its name and strict Muslim guidelines on healthy eating habits in his book, How to Eat to Live. In 10 years in Oakland, The bakery's owner and manager, Yusuf Bey, has turned your black Muslim bakery into an independent business worth $250,000 to $500,000 a year.
The black bakery began some 10 years ago. A group of us got together and collected our financial and physical energies together and decided to establish something that we could produce and be independent and do something constructive for the community. And the bakery has always been independent from any organization, any church or mosque or temple for the last 10 years, and we've been quite successful in our retail, wholesale distributing throughout the Bay Area, and we plan on expanding. We have non-Muslims and Muslims employed here. We pay minimum wages and up. Depends on your qualifications and your ability.
I asked Yusuf Bey how he felt about hiring women.
Well, women play the same role as any other qualified person. If she's intelligent, if she's qualified, then there's no limits. If she's not so intelligent, not so qualified, then we don't use her.
The men and women working for Yusuf Bey, as he said, are not all Muslims. But we talked to two workers, Shamsun Bey and Muhammad Salim, who are followers of Islam.
I've been a Muslim 8 years. Islam has taught me the knowledge of myself and kind. It has taught me how to be an upright person. It has taught me to be a civilized person. And when I say civilized, I mean the way I am dressed. I don't wear mini skirts, tight-fitted pants. Being a woman in the bakery, you feel very good because the men are very respectful, and I have a very peaceful mind. I'm working in a very clean and pleasant environment. Being a woman in the world of Islam, it makes you very mindful of your duty, of how to take care of your children, the proper way of taking care of your children, and they grow up, you know, with living a long-lasting life and having something to live for.
When we asked what Muslim kids in particular had to live for, we heard the old philosophy of Elijah Muhammad.
The black man is God, so to grow up knowing that he is, you know, the maker, you know, of the planet Earth is really beautiful.
So what religion isn't subject to many interpretations? However, several Bilalians I spoke to did say that a number of Muslims don't like Wallace D. Muhammad's changes and continue to follow the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. Muhammad Salim has been a Muslim for 10 years. He joined the mosque at the age of 17.
I was, you know, young like any other average children was, getting loaded, dropping pills and things. And then when I came into Islam, it cleaned me up, made a man out of me, a young man out of me. And it's a beautiful way of life, you know, and keeps you out of trouble. I love working at the bakery. It keeps me busy. And I learned a lot here since I've been here. I've never been a baker before. And since I've been a bakery here, working at this bakery here, I learned how to make a lot of beautiful products and things. And it is really it's beautiful working here.
Owner Yusuf Bey had more to say on his bakery's role in the community.
We like the idea of being productive people in the community. And we also like to be contributing like all the other groups, ethnic groups in the community. That's one of the reasons we maintain the title of Your Black Muslim Bakery, because every time you pick up a loaf of bread or purchase a product with that label, you know that black people in the community are doing something constructive and producing a product that is definitely needed.
Charles and Cheryl Fareed chose to have a small wedding with family and friends, and since our cameras had been everywhere and a part of the mosque's activities all weekend, they graciously invited me and my camera crew to come along once again.
We are to just love each other and cherish each other. Well, we plan to have children, yes. We plan to bring the children up in a good environment and a secure environment where they can be taught in the right manner.
I like my children to be taught in Al-Islam, the principles of Al-Islam, to be able to be an example to other people in the world, because our duty as Muslims is to raise the children up so that they will be able to function in the society.
وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليه رقيبا. O people, be careful of your duty to your Lord, who created you from a single being, and of the same created its mates, and spread from these two many men and women. And be careful of your duty to Allah, by whom you demand one of another your rights, and to ties of relationship. Surely Allah watches over you. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun.
Cheryl and Charles said I do twice, as they must according to Muslim tradition. And then,
as the Imam of Mosque number 77 and Imam of Bay Area, declare that Shirley, Naima KARIM and Charles Farid are married. Congratulations.
in this half hour, you've seen the beginnings of the new way of thinking for American Muslims. Under Elijah Muhammad, Muslims didn't vote. They didn't involve themselves in the non-Muslim world. The policy was one of secrecy and exclusion. Bay Area Muslims say that the leadership of Wallace D. Muhammad brings with it great changes. They say people will no longer be judged by skin color, but by what they stand for. The Muslims say they'll now be open and involved in the community, and that the doors of the mosque are open to people of all colors and all races. Allowing our cameras through this door and into the world community of Islam is evidence of the new Muslim philosophy. I'm Johnny Barnes Selvin. Good night.
Bismillahir Rahmanir